Hello and welcome to Bunny Hop. My name is George Weedman and I have with me Melissa Hutchison.
Hello everyone.
The voice of Clementine from The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Can you do a little bit of Clementine real quick?
Hi everyone, this is Clementine, and I'm so happy to be here at Dragon Con.
What's this thing?
Daddy said it's called a salt lick.
Yeah, but don't lick it. It's gross.
Did you lick it?
I don't know.
The Walking Dead was a really successful game. It's like just racking in the Game of the Year awards by the boatload. How is the game's success affecting you?
It's completely shocking. I do a lot of voiceover work for video games, and you know, you never expect or imagine that it's gonna blow up like it did with this game. So it's, I mean, I've been going to award shows, I was flown to London, like coming to these conventions, like this is all really new for me in this industry, and I'm just thrilled. I still have to like pinch myself because it doesn't feel very real sometimes, but I'm so grateful for the success of this game and mind blown, still just kind of like feeling it out. What
got you into trying to audition for a role for The Walking Dead? Were you already a fan of the franchise?
Yes. I hadn't read the comic yet, but I was already a big fan of the show. And when I saw the auditions come through from Telltale, I was of course psyched. And I mean, was like, I need to get on this. I really want this. It was one of those jobs where, not that I don't want every job that I audition for, but this was like, you know, the mega, I still didn't think it was gonna be as huge as it is, but anything having to do with The Walking Dead, I wanted to be a part of. So I was very excited.
And I'm guessing you enjoyed how it turned out.
Yeah, thankfully they booked me, and so it's really cool to be a part of that franchise. And I got to meet Robert Kirkman, which was huge. He's super awesome and rad. And
was it hard getting in the mindset of such a young character?
No, I'm very immature. Actually, Clementine's probably more mature than I am, so if anything, I had to mature up. No, I'm kind of weird. I'm like a weird chameleon creature that has all these personalities living inside of her. It wasn't actually that difficult for me because I'm constantly studying and observing. This is my goatee. This is my thinking.
Stroking it.
Yes.
I was wondering how much of it was actually that method acting, like getting into a mindset of it, or if you just had a voice and hammered away at it.
It was kind of a bit of method acting. I definitely had references. Like I kind of conjured my niece and just watching the behavior of small children and definitely use that as reference. But coming up with the actual voice, I don't know, that was just kind of organic. And you know, I know that it's tricky because this game, the characters have to be so real, and especially for the little kids, they needed to be likable. And if it would have been something like animated, like I'm Clementine, then people would have like, how do we kill her? You know, it wouldn't have been I would have never gotten booked. Right, exactly. So I just had to really hone it in and make her sound as real as possible.
Do you think video game voice acting is becoming a larger career field?
Oh yeah. I mean, no.
Well, there's a lot of
kidding.
Like, crossover.
I don't want any more competition. No, it's not. It's a horrible, horrible industry. They work you like a dog. Yeah, it's the gaming industry at this point is I think it's making more money than the film industry. Yeah. I mean, it's huge. And because games are incorporating all this, you know, oh God, I'm gonna totally like out myself on not having video game knowledge. You know, like the cutscenes and you know where
that's the term.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
There's a lot more. It's just beyond the grunts and groans and the go forth. You know, the commands, short commands. It's definitely, I think, going to be employing a lot more voice actors.
I was also wondering about like crossover with cartoons and film and TV, and if you think we're going to keep seeing more of that in the future, or if video games themselves are going to be more specialized.
I think that there will be some crossover. I don't really know how to answer that too well.
Well, there is like a lot of crossover, and I can't necessarily like say for myself how different voice acting for cartoons versus video games and whatnot would be. But I mean, I was just wondering, with the video game voice acting industry getting bigger, if it is also getting more specialized. Like, how much of a difference is there between doing video games and doing animation?
For me personally, one of the biggest differences is in video games, we're generally recording all of that dialogue by ourselves. We're not in the studio with the other actors. And with animation, you're working with all the other actors, kind of, you know, jiving off each other, which is totally awesome. And in video games, you kind of like, you know, you'll record like a whole, sometimes entire game in one recording session. And,
So
you know, with animation, it's more of a progression.
So like when you and Dave Fennoy, who was Lee, were talking together, you guys were alone? You weren't going back and forth?
We were alone. We didn't
That's
even meet
interesting.
until episode 3. That's when we finally met.
So all that back and forth was just kind of pieced together by the developers.
Yeah, we had Julian, the director. He would kind of do line reads to read us in, so it wasn't totally like, well, I don't even know what's going on right now. Because a lot of times you don't. You know, you'll see a line and I'm like, can I get some context?
Oh, so you actually have someone read it back to you. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Kind of without that, then it's, you know, it's difficult. Not all the time though.
So you're not totally alone.
I'm not totally alone. Yeah, that helps the performance a lot. But of course, if we had our way, Dave and I would have recorded all of the cast would have recorded together.
And you say you met him at episode 3, but did you ever start actually recording together after that point? Or?
Nope. And you know, in the
I'm imagining how differently it might have sounded actually if that were the case.
yeah, I know. But then in episode 5, it would have just been two blubbering.
Oh yeah,
Messes
that's right. During the
in the
panel you
studio.
said you got really emotionally involved
Yeah.
in that last episode, and it's surprising to see like some of that weight of playing the game rub off on the people who helped make it happen. So
Yeah.
how much of the script did you get beforehand? Like, did you know what was in for these characters when you started the role?
When I started the role, I mean, we had kind of a brief synopsis, but of course it changed. And you know, as we recorded the first episode, I think they were like, oh, well, I think it's going to work. You know, there was some rewrites and different direction with some of the characters. I don't think I knew about Lee. Oh, spoiler?
I'll put a spoiler warning on the video.
Okay, giant spoiler about Lee getting bit and dying until episode 3. But we generally didn't have a preview of the script until right before we went in to record. So it was almost like I was part of the game as a voice actress, but at the same time, because we recorded so close to when the episodes were released, I got to enjoy it myself in this way of like, oh God, what are they gonna do? But I did have a lot of the background story.
So I think we're about to run out of time in the room. So one last question I wanted to ask, and again, if you don't want to spoil anything, that's fine too. But what can you tell us, if anything at all, about Clem's role in season 2?
All I can say is she is returning.
Okay, and that is news in itself. So
That has already been released. So I am released to say that, but that's unfortunately that's all I can.
okay, well, cool deal.
That's all
Thank
I
you.
can do, people.
Thanks
Yeah.
for the interview. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. Thank you
and,
so much.
Hope you have a good day at the rest of DragonCon.
I will. Yay!
All right, cool.
Hopefully I wasn't like hitting this thing the entire time.
We'll find out. But
Yeah, I know.
like we have two
We're gonna need
different
you
mics.
here